Today's readings are about good news, and we might well think, what good news? But I think, the thing about these readings and the message of the good news is that the context for good news is always terrible things happening around us. Every time Jesus healed someone or forgave someone, what was happening around them was brokenness, people being lost. And in the world that we're living in today, sometimes our focus can be just solely on the bad things that are happening. There's some lovely good news stories going around, aren't there? And one of the ones I saw during the week was of a nurse who was living in a caravan in front of her mum's house. And it was because she wanted to continue nursing, but also wanted to be close to her mum, who was vulnerable, and felt the only way she could do it safely was to live in this old caravan for 9 months. But there are many stories like that. We can all think of examples of kindness, goodness, compassion in all of our lives, around us all the time. And so many of those things are only happening because of the difficulties and pain and challenge or lostness or brokenness that is around us. But it is important that we see that good news, because it's one of the things that keeps us from losing hope. So that's important. The second thing that is important is that we see God at work in that good news. Because 2,000 years ago, God worked in Jesus and the apostles and disciples in so many ways. And lives were changed by their loving activity, by the gospel and the good news they preached, because God was seen at work in them. And God is at work today in countless good deeds that are going on about us. And they're to be celebrated, and they're to be seen as signs that give us hope. So maybe just 3 things that will help us see God at work. The first thing is repentance. Like the Ninevites in that first reading, they encountered God through recognizing their need of him and their need of forgiveness. The second thing is to respond like the first apostles in the gospel. Jesus called, they responded. And then the third is to surrender. And maybe actually none of the 3 of them are easy. Maybe surrendering our lives to God is the hardest thing of all. Putting our trust completely in him. Surrender seems like a negative thing, doesn't it? Like losing a battle, but this is not the same. We're surrendering to the God who is not just all-powerful, but a God who is also all-loving.